Hello, my name is Matt Ployhar. I do strategic gaming planning at Intel Corporation right now, and I'm also still on the board of directors at the Open Gaming Alliance.
Let's talk a little bit about your background in video games.
Okay, kind of a long story, but in short, I kind of got my start in video games back in the late 90s on the Sidewinder gaming devices team at Microsoft. So shipping, force feedback wheels and joysticks and gamepads and stuff like that. Made a transition into Microsoft Game Studios onto a test and tools team. So that was largely about helping to run a beta program, making sure that we were regressing all of the bugs on games like Flight Sim and Age of Empires and all the Zoo Tycoon, you name it. Did that for a little over 4 years. Went to the Microsoft DirectX team for a while, and then ended my stint at Microsoft in the Windows 7 planning team, helping them with some graphics planning stuff. Then Intel got their hands on me in '08, and that was largely about helping them with the Larrabee project. We put that in the can and then migrated over to really kind of focusing in on just better graphics on our chipsets. So all of the HDG graphics or Iris and Iris Pro stuff that you see today.
So let's talk a little about the Open Gaming Alliance and start with the transition from the PC Gaming Alliance and how that came about.
Okay, yeah, we got a lot of feedback from members going, look, we do more than just PC Windows games. And we said, okay, well, how do we address that? And there's been this huge, massive shift both on, it could be operating systems, graphics APIs, or game engines to support more than just Windows. And we said, okay, so if people are going to keep thinking of PCs just synonymously with Windows, then we need to change that. And a lot of members, we represent our members, so that, hey, let's change the name. So the Open Gaming Alliance kind of represents just more of an idea about supporting wherever the direction of the platform goes in. So it's kind of like, all right, well, if it's going to go towards VR or AR, or somebody wants to do something with, say, MakerBot and create something in a video game, we want people to be able to feel comfortable coming to the table also in that equation. So it's not just about PCs, it's just about the whole ecosystem.
What are the goals of the Open Gaming Alliance as you look this year and beyond?
This year and beyond, I think the biggest goals are really just kind of getting people used to the rebrand. It's a huge focus back on the research. It provides a lot of value for the members. Growing the membership, helping people understand what it is we do in terms of how we help their business. Making informed decisions with the research, helping them with where they want to go in it. In this, world where it's not really defined by the OS or the graphics API, but all the different devices that you have to support now. So we're trying to help them in that decision-making process.
Can you talk about some of the companies you have right now that are part of your organization?
Yeah, obviously Intel's still on board in a big way. We have, the game engine guys, Epic and Unity. We've got, Corsair and Logitech. Digital River is obviously, Drew is our new president right now and is representing the OGA. We've got Juana Maloney from M2. There's a long list. We've also got a big initiative around bringing on board a lot of indie game developers, and we've got just a ton of indies that have signed on recently over the last 6 to 7 months as well. Go up to the website. We've got a whole list of all of our current members up there right now.
So here at GDC, VR is front and center, but we also are still experiencing a huge boom in mobile gaming. We're also seeing lots and lots of cross-platform gaming initiatives. How does all of that kind of stuff play back into the Open Gaming Alliance's capabilities?
Again, it's just kind of trying to help people make heads or tails of where they should kind of focus their efforts. What operating systems should they focus in on? What's the platform spec? Where's the growth occurring? What geographies are growing? So those are things that we can kind of answer. We are a B2B organization. It's a nonprofit. So we're trying to kind of focus fire in on, again, research. We got a security best practices initiative. We do a lot around the indie program. So those are kind of the big pushes right now in focus areas. In terms of VR and AR, I want to address that real quickly. we just look at that as another adjacent market that we need to help people support. So there's been a lot of questions in the market around, hey, how big is the install base going to be in a year or 2, 3 years down the road? And those are things we can help out with.
When it comes to research, can you give us an example of research you've done that has helped, companies that are involved with you guys?
We really do help people kind of figure out what direction where should we help people with their game engines, and how, what does that spec look like over years, and making sure that is relevant when people are focusing in on certain areas. I know it sounds kind of hard to wrap around, but it's sort of like, what is that min spec globally? And what is it today, and where's it going to be 2, 3, 4 years down the road? So we have a long history that says, here's where it is, and if the past is any indication of the future, then this is a good area of guesstimate of where it's going to be. We're very comfortable in what that looks like.
You mentioned both Epic and Unity being a part of you guys. Both of those companies now have officially gone free with their engines. What impact do you see that having on the indie world that you're working with already?
It helps them a lot. I mean, they've already been kind of moving in that direction already quite a bit, frankly. But I think this just kind of breathes additional wind into their sails. I think it's huge. I love that. And people have to remember that, when Blizzard got its start, they were doing ports. When Epic got their starts back in the day, they were small indies, and they were just very talented people, and the rest is history for companies like that. So we're there to make sure that we're paving the path for the the next generation of Epics and Blizzards and EA publishers and folks like that in the future.
And speaking of the future, what excites you about the video game industry today?
All of it. There's just too much. I think the big thing for me comes back to helping game developers realize their dreams and visions for what they want. And now that the graphics and the game engines are supporting additional platforms, and the graphics is just getting so good, there's less compromise of their art form, of the game design itself. And to me, that's the most exciting thing. It's not really about, hey, what platform is it, or is it proprietary or not? It's just helping those game designers and developers bring that to life. It's hard because over the years, what I've seen when I used to do it back at MGS, Microsoft Game Studios, there was always some level of compromise that has to take place in order to get it out to market. Now you see less and less of that compromise occurring, and I think that's a good and exciting thing.